your eyes peeled.
Hostile radio intercepted.
Campus has taken position inside the memorial.
Hey, what is up everyone? The LDB is back at it again, coming at you today with my Scorpio Regen tank build for TU12. Now, on my last Scorpio build, I mentioned doing another variation since this weapon is pretty versatile, so here it is. Now, with this build, we can really get up close where we need to be with shotguns, and still have some nice damage, but not really worry about being slapped around too much by those NPCs. So, as always, I hope you enjoy and find this video helpful. If you do, please do me a huge favor and smash that like button, subscribe for future Division content if you are new to the channel. You can hit me up on Twitter and be sure to drop a comment down there below. So let's get into this. Alright everyone, and here it is. So as you can see up top there, I am still going to be using that firewall specialization because, yep, you guessed it, we get this awesome shield right here. Now I know a lot of people are sick of seeing shield builds, but you know what? They're in the game for a reason, and I feel like they are definitely here to stay. And I say that because of the way that the devs are really pushing skill builds right now. It is what it is. If you are not a skill build player, you are probably hating this meta. So just use what you can to get your damage up and to stay alive as long as possible. That's the name of the game, and this shield will will definitely help you do both of those, especially on a build like this that is all blues more or less. That extra damage bonus per enemy in front of you is going to help you out a lot. Also, the buff range for it is only 10 meters, so you have to be within 10 meters to get that extra damage bonus. That's exactly where shotguns shine. Also, obviously, it's going to help you stay alive a lot longer. So it is what it is, guys. If you do not like your shield, go ahead and just swap over to your next favorite skill. So, moving on to the core attributes, we have 1 red, 5 blue, 0 yellow. The minor attributes, we have 9 red, 3 blue, and 0 yellow. Our armor is at 1.7 million, so I'd have to say that's pretty good. You should be, doing pretty good with that. And we have 331,000 health with no skill tiers. So, let's move on to these weapons. Alright, so on to my primary weapon. It is, of course, the Scorpio exotic shotgun. I freaking love this weapon. It has slowly but surely become one of my favorite and go-tos for PvE. We're talking 744,000 per bullet base damage on an almost all-blue build. I mean, I'd have to say that is pretty good. 130 RPM, 7 in the mag. The core attributes got pretty lucky on. 2 out of 3 are maxed out, but the talent is definitely where it's at. Septic Shock. Shooting a target applies stacks of venom, which lasts for 10 seconds. Increasing stacks adds more severe debuffs to the target. 1 is poison, 3 is disorient, 6 is shock, and 7, the target takes an additional 20% damage from all sources. Stacks no longer increase. The duration of the status effect is based on the percentage of pellets hit on applying shot. And we're also going to go ahead and just tack on bleed on there, since we are using the Ridgeway chest piece. That's going to give us some more armor regen, as well as just add another status effect. Gotta love that right there. Now, moving on to my secondary weapon, pretty straightforward, nothing too crazy. I'm using an M870. You could really go with whatever shotgun you really like. I like this one because of the base damage. Look at that, 1.1 million per shot base damage on an almost all blue build. Gotta love that. Now the RPM is pretty slow at 75 and we only have 5 in the mag, but if you land a couple of those shots, they are definitely going to be feeling it. And I just went ahead and threw Sadist on there, deal 20% weapon damage to bleeding enemies, since we do have that Ridgeway chest piece on. That's going to be going all the way, and it's really been working out awesome, guys. Now for my sidearm here, just using a backup boomstick. It's all maxed out, 1 million per shot. Look at that. 200 RPM, we only have 2 in the mag, but we have preservation on there. Killing an enemy repairs 10% armor over 5 seconds. So if you do really get jammed up on this build, you can go ahead, pull this thing out, boom, boom. You take out 1 or 2 NPCs, and all of a sudden you're back in the game. So other than that, guys, let's get on to these gear pieces. Okay, so let's start right here with the mask. It is Golan gear. We have the 3-piece active, giving us that plus 10% status effects, plus 1% armor regen, as well as plus 5% total armor. Now, if you don't have 3 pieces of Golan, and maybe you have 1 piece of Gila, that's pretty good. You could always throw that on. That will also give you that extra 5% total armor, so that is all up to you. Now, as far as the attributes go, armor, armor regen, crit damage, and crit damage as well. I mean, just push that crit damage as much as we can, and we're going to sprinkle some crit chance in here and there. So moving on to the chest piece. Alright, so on to the chest. It is the Ridgeway's Pride. I freaking love this thing. I really feel like this and the Scorpio go hand in hand together very well. This one I got pretty lucky on. Everything is maxed out, so that looks really nice right there. Weapon damage, crit chance, crit damage with a crit damage mod. But again, the talent is definitely where it is at. Bleeding Edge. Shooting enemies within 15 meters, and again, 15 meters is roughly about the range where the shotguns start to shine. It applies the bleed to the target. Repairs 3 to 48% of your armor per second for every enemy that is bleeding within that 15 meters. The repair strength per number of bleeding enemies, 1 is 3%, 2 is 6%, 3 is 12%, so on and so forth. And my point being with this is, right now we already have 2% regen by having 2 pieces of Golan and 1 piece Bellstone, and as soon as I bleed 1 NPC, as long as I shoot the guy in front of me, that guy starts to bleed. I am now at 5% because we get that 3% off of that Ridgeway. If I bleed 2 of them, obviously it goes up from there, so on and so forth, and your armor starts flying back. I have been loving it. Okay, so moving on to the holster here, it is Golan gear. We have some armor, armor regen, and some crit hit chance on there. Definitely do not forget about that crit hit chance when you are working with shotguns, because they definitely need it. Now moving on to the knee pads, they are Badger Tough. We get that plus 10% shotgun damage just for wearing them. We have attribute of armor, crit hit chance, and crit hit damage. Now the way that I divided this build up was that I have 3 pieces with the minor attributes of crit hit chance and crit hit damage, and I have 3 pieces that have armor regen, and or crit hit chance and crit hit damage. So that way we are still pushing the armor regen aspect, but at the same time we are also pushing the crit aspect to a point where it's still viable, if that makes sense. Okay, so on to the gloves. They are Bellstone Armory. We get that plus 1% armor regen just for wearing them. Gotta love that right there. We got some pretty good rolls on here as well. Armor, crit hit chance, and armor regen. So pretty straightforward on that. Moving on to the backpack here. It is the Anarchist Cookbook, the named Golden Gear backpack. Got pretty good rolls on here. Could be a little bit better, but these are a little hard to come by in my opinion. I don't know. I just don't have the best of luck getting them. Got some armor on there. Crit hit chance, crit hit damage with a crit hit chance mod. I wish I could put some crit hit damage in there, but again, like I said, I cannot stress it enough. These shotguns need some crit hit chance. It is what it is, guys. But again, the talent is definitely where it's at on this backpack. We got Perfectly Wicked, applying a status effect, and we're going to be applying like 4 of them, right? Increases total weapon damage by 18% for 27 seconds. So as soon as I shoot someone, weapon damage up 18% for almost 30 seconds. I gotta love that right there. So other than that, guys, let's move on to the stat sheet. Alright everyone, so before we go ahead and sign off, let's just do a quick little recap breakdown here on the stat sheet. Now again, the weapon talents that I'm going to be using: Septic Shock for my primary, Sadist on my secondary, Preservation on my sidearm, and we also have some high octane gasoline mixture to play with. Gotta love that stuff right there. Moving on to the weapon stats, we're talking 744,000 per bullet base damage. We have 54.2 crit hit chance, so that could be better, but you know, we're approaching the cap, so I'd have to say we're doing pretty good. As far as crit hit damage goes, we're talking 124.9. I can't tell you enough how much that drives me crazy that it's not 125. 0.1 off. I mean, seriously. Either way, we got some headshot damage on there. Got some armor damage. The range, again, 16 meters. So as long as you get close to them, you're going to be doing some crazy damage. Land as many pellets as you can, and they're not going to be feeling too good. Now, you got the reload time of 1.4 seconds. That is awesome. We got some reload speed, bonus, accuracy, blah, blah, blah going on. You know, got some good stuff. Now, moving on to offense, we have 25% all weapon damage bonus, and we also have 40% shotgun damage bonus. So, that's pretty good for mainly blue build, I'd have to say right there. Now, moving on to the gear talents: Perfectly Wicked and Bleeding Edge on my chest piece. You know, so pretty straightforward on that. And as far as the gear brands go, we have a 3-piece Golan, we have the Ridgeway chest, 1-piece Bellstone, and 1-piece Badger for that extra shotgun damage. So pretty straightforward on that. Now moving on to the defense, we have 1.71 million armor. Gotta love that right there. That feels good to hit that number. We got some armor regen here of 49,000 per second. Max health 331. We got some health on a kill. That can be helpful a little bit if you're you know, taking some kind of status effect. But other than that, I mean, got some resistance, protection, blah, blah, blah. Nothing too crazy down here. And as far as the skills go, I'm going to be using that ballistic shield with that defender drone. So pretty straightforward on that, guys. Hope you enjoyed, and I will catch you on the next one.